We've all heard of the deadliest wars in history: World War I, World War II, Ghenghis Khans, conquests, etc. But there are lots of wars that killed many people that you've probably never heard of. In this video, I'm going to be talking about some of these lesser-known deadly conflicts. Oh, also, before we start, remember that these numbers are estimated and vary by a lot. If I asked you to list the deadliest wars in history, you would probably tell me World War I or World War II. But it turns out that there's a war that killed just as many people that you probably never heard of. I'm talking about the Taiping Rebellion. Basically, in 1850, there was an uprising of Chinese Christian rebels. However, this was no normal rebellion. You see, these rebels were, to use technical terms, completely insane. They were so insane that the Christian power supported the Chinese government against them. The rebellion was led by a lunatic named, however you pronounce that name. Now, this guy was just handed a Christian pamphlet one day. He supposedly barely read it and said, "That's like your opinion, man." But after having a hallucinogenic dream sequence and failing the imperial examinations for the fourth time, he decided to actually read it, and decided that he didn't like the Chinese religions very much, so he started a massive rebellion. Stay in school, kids. He also believed he was the brother of Jesus. The rebellion established the Heavenly Kingdom. Now, I'm not sure how accurate that title is, given their death toll, but I suppose they did do a very good job of sending people to heaven extra fast. They actually did very well, using more advanced weapons than the Chinese Qing dynasty. They took control of lots of southern China, but ended up being defeated. They also might have killed a couple people, and by that I mean they killed 20 million on the low end. Now, I'm pretty sure somewhere in the Bible it says, "Thou shalt not kill," but I guess these guys didn't get the memo. By the way, I could have made this list entirely out of Chinese civil wars, but that would be boring. Let's talk about the deadliest war that happened in 1860s America. No, I'm not talking about the American Civil War. I'm talking about the Paraguay War, or War of the Triple Alliance. See, in the 1860s, Paraguay was run by a complete madman by the name of Francisco Solano Lopez. And this guy was very into expansion, so he built up Paraguay's trade network and carefully planned a detailed economic policy. Just kidding, he declared war on Uruguay, Brazil, and Argentina at the same time. Now, some might consider this to be a reverse Poland situation. So, why did he declare war on 3 countries? Well, he thought it was a military genius. He actually did have a larger army at the start of the war, and managed to conquer a lot of territory. Unfortunately for him, instead of a glorious victory, it turned out to be a protracted quagmire that killed 90% of Paraguay's male population, and lost Paraguay 40% of its territory. In fact, the church basically legalized polygamy to deal with the massive death tolls. What do I know? Maybe Paraguay will get its revenge and conquer the world. When the Mongol Empire collapsed, it didn't just disappear. It left behind several remnant dynasties all over Asia. And while most of these collapsed due to the fact that you can't maintain military dominance with horses if you need to run an empire, one of them came to in control of a guy named Tamerlane, who was completely insane. Thinking about it, complete insanity is a common trend among these wars. See, this guy Tamerlane, or Tamer the Lame, as he was called because he was lame, one day got tired of everyone calling him lame and decided to conquer the world. Now, he didn't conquer the world, but he did take lots of Asia. He seized control of the Chagatai Khanate, the Mongol descendant state in Central Asia, and to get revenge for being called lame, he invaded Persia, Anatolia, the Caucasus, and India. He killed about 5% of the world's population. So be careful who you call lame in middle school. This guy called himself the Sword of Islam, but given how many Muslims he killed, I would disagree. I'm pretty sure it also says that you shouldn't kill people in the Quran, but apparently none of these guys get the memo. So remember, if people call you lame, don't listen to them, because one day you might become a great nomadic conqueror, and then have your empire immediately collapse after your death. I've saved the deadliest war for last, and that's the war that will erupt in this video's comment section. So remember to leave a comment talking about how I am evil, since I didn't include insert war here, and also make sure to use your valuable time to brag about how you already knew all these wars and how I'm stupid/evil because I made a tiny mistake.